Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, episode number 2 on my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube. So, once again, just want to show you guys obviously, I want to get a Danica Patrick, my Grail card in there real quick. 2006. My favorite baseball card during my lifetime, Andre Dawson. And since it's technically Monday that my anniversary falls on, it's Minor League Monday. So there's an Obak. And to go along with that last episode, my trashy cards, the vintage trashy cards. So there's another trashed up one that looks pretty bad, but that is an Obak, like a 19, I believe that's a 10 or 11. Yeah, for Los Angeles there. That, my friends, is our minor league Monday card of the day of Abbott for Los Angeles. I believe that would be the Angels, since we're on minor league Monday thing. Well, we got these other two ones that were pretty trashy. So maybe I'll show those again here in a second, along with this one that's pretty beat up. And the reason I'm showing these is because it's minor league Monday, and I just got done showing you guys my trashy cards, vintage cards. So starting off year number 2, excuse me, minor league Monday there, Isotopes hat, and my Tool shirt, and it is September 23rd, my 1 year anniversary at 2 a.m. California time. Slept half the day, so I'm up for right now, but I did show you guys some of the vintage trashy cards from 1968. So, like Bob Pitty there, and I showed you guys a whole bunch of them. But, so since I showed you my trashy ones, I decided I'm going to start this year off doing an episode that's more what the people on YouTube mostly collect. The reason I started my page was because mostly people do vintage, graded, 50s, 60s, stuff like that. Some pre-war, and then you got modern collectors that do mostly shiny stuff and all that. Well, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Topps Allen and Ginter, so I like these old style cards that are newer. But there, I picked up yesterday a Alex Rodriguez from 2006 Hawaii Trade Conference, and these are the very first Allen and Ginter cards Topps did, was for that trade conference in February, March of 2006, because the regular set that had the Danica didn't come out till August 2006. So this is where they started for Topps, doing the tribute cards to the 1887 cards. But anyways, so less people like that kind of stuff the way I do, and that's why I started this channel. But I do like vintage and 60s, 70s, 50s, those kind of things. I just tend to lean more towards either modern or pre-war, and I'll pick up some vintage stuff here and there. But these cards that I showed you that are all damaged, that one of my siblings wrote on, I found in our antique cabinet back in Albuquerque growing up, after finding a Ty Cobb thing that from back in Ty Cobb's day that I'm going to show in a video someday. I went digging through my dad's antique chest or cabinet that he had in the den, and found a box full of these 68 Topps cards. And this was when I was really first getting into collecting baseball, like actually going and buying packs and not just getting stuff out of cereal. And so I started digging through there, dreaming about getting a Mickey Mantle or something big, and I came across these cards, and a whole handful of them. One of my siblings wrote all over them, "I am a dummy" on these cards. So I just figured I would start this episode this year off doing some vintage stuff today, because I've been wanting to do it for a year, but I have all these other things that I've been wanting to show you, like I've shown you in the last few days, and I'm not even close to putting a dent, well, you know, a major dent into showing the stuff that I'm into collecting, which is why I started this channel, because I wasn't seeing other people do that kind of stuff. So that's why I don't get into the vintage and grading as much. It's not that I don't like it, it's just further down the list of important things for me. As you can see here, I'm a Cubs fan. Isotopes. So we showed a little minor league Monday stuff today, but now let's get to some of the good vintage stuff. So I'm going to turn you guys around. I'm doing this episode right after I showed you the trashy ones, in honor of in honorary honor of Rob, a commenting collector, who had his trashy cards video VR contest that I got into, and I believe I showed those Obak cards for him because I was holding out on these 68s because I wanted to do this episode a long time ago. Alright everybody, so I'm gonna pause you, turn this around, and so hi, I'm Rob. Year number 2 begins today on old style classics baseball cards. My buddy Bill Clinton would say, hey, that's 2 Bill Clinton thumbs up. Oh yeah, yeah, George W. Bush, he thinks that's good too. Alright, let's get to it. Well, Ronald Reagan says, Rob, turn that camera around. Show those cards. Gotta keep doing what I do, people. Alright, hang on. Alright, people, let's get to it. So, just so you can see these cards a little clearer here on Old Style Classic Baseball cards, Old Style Classics Baseball cards. Please turn up the video speed to 1.25 or 1.5 to make me sound normal, because I speak a little slow. And send people my way who might subscribe. We didn't reach the 200 subscribers I wanted to by today. So I'm going to put off any contest video until I reach that milestone. But keep your eyes peeled for maybe a minor or something between now and then, a holdover. And so there's the A-Rod, the original Topps Allen & Ginter cards that they printed for that trade conference. The font's a little bit different and like the darkness. And then of course the back's a little more blurry and cardboardy than your normal Allen & Ginter back, but still, those are the first concept cards for Allen & Ginter promo given out at that Hawaii Trade Conference. Of course, my Grail card for 19 years was trying to pick one of these up my own self out of a box or a pack, but it never worked out when they were still available. And then years went by, you can't find any more 2006 stuff. So I finally just got it off of eBay this year. So of course I'm going to show you that. And then of course my favorite baseball card of Andre Dawson during his playing career is the 87 Topps Traded. So we talked about that. Go check out the last episode to stick with the Minor League Monday. So there's Mitt for Vernon. The dude with his face punched out. For Portland, Jay Ryan. Obak, 1910, 1911. Can't figure out his name right now. Out of a scrapbook. And then old Abbott that we just showed. It looks like he's got some serious water damage there. That looks to be in 1911, so there you go. Alright, so Minor League Monday is covered. And let's zip through these really quick again. The vintage, I started with the 67 Tigers. It's all wrote up. Bernie Allen, one of my siblings, wrote on these ones, the 68s that I found. So, what can you do, people? Pretty sad, but funny at the same time. Most of them are just kind of, what would you call it? Commons. Ray Washburn, Bob Pretty. Backs are in nice shape. Grady Hatton, Camilo. Poor A's, their final games are going to be in Oakland this week, so the A's fans must feel damaged. I like this card here, but hey, my Cubs didn't even survive it, people. John Bochabella. So even he didn't survive. Along with these two guys, these three did not survive. Franks and Brooke Robinson, Bird Belters, that's a shame. That did not make it. So unfortunately they got to a good card. And they also got to a better card. The Hank Aaron. So that's sad. And that looks to be folded right in half there. But we do have some 68 vintage in pretty decent shape. So let's get to it, folks. So all the guys on YouTube mostly collect this kind of stuff. And I have some of it. And I'm going to show you the stuff that I actually pulled out of that antique cabinet that I actually broke the top off because I was kneeling on it to get at the 8-tracks or record player or CB or something, and I put my knee right on the middle of that antique cabinet and broke it. It never fessed up, but I did find a box, like kind of like a little cigar box that had some 68s and that Tigers card in it and like a Boog Powell card, which I'll show later. Now I believe one or two of these cards in here, and I'll show you when I get to them, I did pick up since then from the local card shop, but we'll see that coming up. So got a Leon Wagner for the Indians. Alright, I don't think they're in any order, people. I just grabbed the stack. So I recently top loaded these. These were just sitting in a 5,000 card box, or with the actually they might have been with my oddball cards. All right, Russ Snyder. I mean, they're not in great shape, but they're not horrible either. I mean, they would make a good placeholder, or if it's somebody big, you would be like, yeah, that's good enough for me. Russ Snyder, the Chicago White Sox. So go back to last episode if you want to hear more about the story about the ones that got damaged. My brother Kevin's like, oh, sorry if I did that, but he doesn't remember. Jerry Stevenson, these were probably his cards or my brother George's. Perhaps my sister, I can't rule that out, but my sister and the one brother are since passed away, so the only brother that possibly did this doesn't remember. And I guess it could have been one of my other two brothers, but they seemed like they would have been too young. Alright, Jerry Stevenson. So, card, what's that? That's on the top loader, people. Card 513. Wayne Causey. Oh, did I have two cards in here? Yep. Apparently I have two Wayne Causeys. So I guess I should take that out so we can see the back. Alright, Wayne Causey. Wonder if he's related to this girl we know that sings. Her last name, her father's last name is Causey, I believe. Bree Cause. So there we go. Lindy McDaniel. San Francisco, here you go. Bay Area people, Lindy McDaniel. So I'm doing this episode for the vintage collectors here on YouTube because I've been waiting a long time to do this one, but I just never felt the time to do it was right. Kurt Mutton, Roger Nelson, pretty bent up in the corner there. Maybe because I didn't have enough subscribers, I didn't think people would see this episode, and maybe they won't still, but I can always do this episode again in the future, showing these cards again. Alright, rookie stars for the Orioles. Is that the same one that got messed up? No, it's not. Alright, let's get to it. John Edwards, so that was one of the ones that was messed up. John Edwards card, so let's see. Huh, wouldn't it be something if they only messed up the ones that were duplicates? So John Edwards, the I Am a Dummy card. So there we go. John Edwards. Alright, Ed Charles. Third base, Mets. Ed Charles. Maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't go after vintage cards as much either, because I had a stack of them. Alright. Obviously I didn't put these in the showing order that I'd probably like. So let me make some adjustments here, folks. Hang on a second. Alright, thanks. So Dick Lines. Washington there. Senators, nonetheless. Dick Lines. Dick Green. So for Oakland. Rest in peace, Oakland A's. Dick Green, they should have built them a stadium 30 years ago, in my opinion. Joe Foy. Boston. So I can even do it in the old Boston. Joe Foy. Now, Rob, I don't know if it's prudent to make fun of people from the Northeast. I'm not making fun of them. Well, wouldn't be prudent. Floyd Robinson, people. Outfielder for the A's. Floyd Robinson. Card 404, Oakland. Gary Kolb. Pirates. There you go, Mangini, and you Pirates fans. Gary Kolb. I like the little comic strip down there. A little trivia. Alright. Jack Hyatt. Hyatt. Giants. There you go. Rick Vintage Oddball Collector. Giants fan. Bob Rogers. California Angels. It's Mr. Bob Rogers. Mr. Rogers there. Lumen Harris. Manager for the Brave. Lumen Harris. Braves. Pause that. Read about Lumen. Alright. Dick Bozeman. Dick Bozeman. Washington Senators. Alright. Starting to get to more, less commons, people. More stars. Hell and Air. There you go for the Giants. Pretty off-centered there. Just beautiful set. I forgot to tell you guys. I probably because I found these cards in the antique thing. Maybe that's biased me, but this is my favorite set from the 60s. I like it. It reminds me of the 87 tops more than the 62 or whatever wood frame ones do. This has an 87 kind of feel to me. I know it's kind of like a canvas, this brown, but I think the combination that I knew about these cards around when I was collecting 87 is why I really like these ones. And yeah, I think they're a cool set. And I like the backs because they are very vintage. So they do have that old, I mean, think about it, it's less than 10 years later Andre Dawson's rookie card came out, which seems modern to me, but these seem ancient to me. And it was only 9 years, before. And my first cards that I got out of a pack would have been 81, like Dunross, because we sold those at the Tasty Freeze. So these cards seemed They might as well have been from like Ty Cobb's era to me. Alright. Here we go. Tony LaRussa. There with his flat top. Mr. Tony LaRussa. So, probably a Hall of Famer as a manager. We're going to be, if not, Mr. Tony LaRussa for Oakland A's there. So that's pretty good. There goes the air conditioner, folks. We're getting there, folks. Now we're going to get to the big boys. So, we do have an Orlando Cepeda. So, Orlando Cepeda, Hall of Famer. And, oh, so the Yaz smashes 2 home runs. So this would have been one of the ones that I got at the local card shop. So let me take that out. Should probably go in his own top loader there. Probably ran out at the time. Alright, here. So there's the back of the Orlando Cepeda. And then there's the Yaz smashes 2 home runs. So that I would have picked up at the local card shop. So definitely picked up 2. And I'll show you the other one here in a bit. Alright, we'll set that aside, see if we can find a top loader for him. Alright. The great Carew. Hall of Famer. Card 363. Carew. And they're in a nice enough shape to have kept, you know. I used to dream about how valuable these were. Obviously not as valuable as I thought as a kid because of condition, but still super cool to own. You know, like I said, it's just generations, 1 or 2 generations before me, playing wise. A lot of these guys come to the end of their career. So, yeah, it's just super cool. But there you go, the great Frank Robinson, Hall of Famer. Card 373. Frank Robinson. Just happens to be one of the damaged other cards that we got. But lucky for me, got 2 of them. So, another Frank Robinson. So, pretty nice stuff, people. So, at least some of them survived. Some of the good stuff did survive. So, that's good. Here's a cool one for me. Because as I said before, he's the first person, celebrity-wise, that I ever met and got an autograph from. He signed my ball at that 1988 Legends for Lobos. And then I got Joe and Frank Torrey to sign it and some other people. Which I still haven't shown that yet, but old Bob Gibson there. Yeah, I probably should have brought this card. Didn't ever think about it. But at the time, you just didn't get cards signed, so. And then here was a big one for me because he started in the Cubs. And it was like a big screw up on the Cubs' part of millions. Lou Brock. So Lou Brock there on the Cardinals. Former rookie for the Cubbies, as you can see down there. I played that long with the Cubs. Huh. Let's see how many at-bats. Well, I thought he was only on the Cubs for like half of one season, not that long. Wow, I didn't realize that, huh? Well, I'll be darned, you learn something new every day, people. So there, I just learned a lesson from vintage. Alright, people. And then here's the card I thought was the biggest one that I had. Because I knew all-star cards weren't as valuable or like highlight cards. You always knew that, you know, by the 80s you knew about rookie cards. And so I always thought the Jim Palmer was my most expensive card, even with that bend in the corner down there. But the Jim Palmer, and as far as I can tell by the way you did cards, I thought that was a rookie card, but apparently not. So I must have been thrown off by that Miami down there. But nevertheless, regardless, I always thought that was one of my bigger cards. unless it's somebody else I'm thinking of that would be in a binder, but I don't believe I have any of these in the binder. But nevertheless, people, there's my Jim Palmer. So that's pretty cool. So we had a run of Hall of Famers there, and then the other big one that I did pick up at a LCS. And this is probably now the biggest one that I have, I would think, other than the Frank Robinsons. And this would be the 67 batting leaders. And it would have Matty Alou, Tony Gonzalez, and the great Bob Roberto Clemete. Now that one's pretty off-centered there, left to right, but nevertheless, pick up a Bob Clemete card, playing days card. You know, who cares? You know what I mean? I have one. So that's super cool. I'll take it. And I've talked about it many times, opening packs of cards in the last year, that sometimes you come across these modern versions of these that might have Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, and Mike Trout or something on it. And you're like, you know what? 50 years, you might not be able to afford the Shohei Ohtani card, you know, but you might find one that he's one of these guys on there and it's a third the price, and that might be your, you know, route towards picking up one of these major stars like Roberto Clemente. So that, along with the Yaz card, is the ones that I picked up at the LCS. So they're super cool, but these are the ones that have the sentimental value to me for having picked. Basically, these have been around in our house, as far as I know, my entire life. So these were before I was born, and if my brother had these cards, then that's pre-me. I guess I was a preemie. Alright, everybody. So thank you for watching Old Style Classics baseball cards. Finally got you vintage guys in on an episode of some of these cards with some great players in there. Just awesome. And I hope you enjoy that. And we got some more vintage stuff to show you. I don't know if I'll do it immediately or get back to my mini tobacco cards, but I wanted to do this special sending off the second year of Old Style Classics baseball cards with something more in line with what most everyone else on YouTube's doing. Alright, thanks everybody for watching, and take care.